Well, I'm chatting to Tina today, who has done the Fitness Pilates training. So, Tina, when did you do it? Can you remember how long ago?
I did it during lockdown, so I did it in January 2021 when I was coughing and I thought I had COVID at that time. I probably did, but we didn't know at that time.
And what prompted you to do it? Why did you do it?
Um, I wanted to introduce something that was a little bit more of benefit to nurturing, for my clients, because we were doing some HIIT training online and we were doing weights and that sort of thing. But there was nothing that I felt as though, we were all hunched over, weren't we? All hunched
Yeah,
over our phone and our laptop and working from home, and things were, I mean, they weren't new by then, but it wasn't the norm. So I wanted to be able to offer something that sort of really opened everyone out and relaxed everyone, that sort of mind body side of things, where you're nurturing the mind as well as the body at the same
got
time.
it. And did you start your classes then on in lockdown on Zoom? And have you progressed them to face, or are you still on? What's the format? What are you doing with it?
Yes, so initially I was teaching a weekly class on Zoom, which was quite quickly became really, really popular. When we were then able to go back out into the community, and people, well, not straight away, but I went back out into the community with some outdoor classes first, not Fitness Pilates, but then after a while, when people were more used to being in a room together and felt as though that was okay, I'd sectioned out the room with little cones, and
Oh,
so
wow.
everyone had their space, and we went back out to the community. And what I found after that was that whilst I was advertising, what have you, you might not necessarily get a lot of action, but I knew people were watching it because people would just book and turn up out of nowhere that weren't in my immediate sphere. They were just coming out of nowhere, and they tended to be like a lone ranger, if you like, just
Yeah.
a woman with children that had booked that, and that was their me time. And came along to that, and I really got that vibe from them, and a lot of them have really stuck around and also filtered into other classes too, which is great.
That's good. So it's been a feeder. And how many sessions a week do you teach? And sort of tell us a little bit about the classes that you teach. Explain a little bit about your business and how it fits together.
So it initially started as kettlebell interval training. Actually, pre-lockdown was my main sort of fundamental class. That class doesn't exist anymore. I've got one called Kettlebell Fitness, which is a lot more progressed than that, with cardio included. So weights have always been my main USP. It's mainly been women over age 40, but essentially mainly over age 50. And people that really, really enjoy using weights. Then the cardio, mainly HIIT training or movement to music, has then filtered into that and has become a solid part of what it is that I offer. So the perfect thing really to add was something along the lines of Fitness Pilates.
Yeah.
And it has been a great class, because what I've done with it is I've slotted it in a way that complements everything else that I offer.
I got it. And do you find that many of your existing clients come along to it and they mix it with the other classes that you teach? Or does it attract people that just come for that class once a week in the community?
Both of those.
Mm.
It's mainly closer to lockdown, so a little bit further, a bit longer ago, maybe about a year ago, there was a set of people who came to Fitness Pilates, and then there might have been one or two that either then moved from Fitness Pilates to my other classes, or did the other classes and also did Fitness Pilates. But it's kind of merged a little bit more now. It's probably a good 25%
Mm.
overlap in one way or another. And what I've done since then, I've kept my main Fitness Pilates class, which is on a Monday night, as a nurturing,
Yeah.
relaxed with a deep stretch type class. But on a Saturday morning, I teach it as a half-hour
Ah.
express class just before my main
Ah.
body class. And that I call that Fitness Pilates strength and tone. So I use the main elements from the Monday night class, and I teach it in an interval training format, whereby you get a lot of the strengthening benefits of it with some of the stretch, but it's a lot less relaxing than the Monday
Yeah.
night. But it's the perfect way to warm up for
Got
the
it.
class that's just straight after
I
it.
love that. Now, you have also got a part-time job and you're a busy mom of two. You've got two teens. Um, how do you market your classes? You're in a busy area, a highly competitive area. There's lots of classes and centres around you. So how do you market the classes?
That's an interesting question, actually, because I've been re-looking at that recently. I've been marketing it as I've just been saying it's Fitness Pilates. Come along because you will release aches and pains, and all of the benefits that it gives you. Will strengthen your core, build body strength. There's no impacts, it's lower intensity. All of those kinds of things, which has been really great. But over the next couple of weeks, I'm wanting to shift that or include all of that with some other hooks, possibly peri to post-menopause support, that sort of thing, in order to help. Because what I do have around here, within the 10-minute walk, there's probably about 3 or 4 different gyms or studios, and there's also reformer Pilates and Pilates focused studios within probably about 15-minute walk. So there's quite a few. So it really is, why these classes over those. In my class, they're not very serious. My classes, I tend to we laugh quite a lot because you can sort of wobble and what have you, and it's fitness. So I want to try and make it clear that they are fitness classes. That are less serious perhaps than what you might get somewhere else.
I love it. And it's interesting that you have got so much competition in an area. You're North London based, so there is a lot going on in that area, but there's always a niche. There's different types of Pilates for different people. People that want reformer in a small group, great, there's Pilates for them. People that want classical mat, they can find it. Fitness Pilates is a bit of a bridge between fitness and Pilates, and it just fits in for the people that want that. So there's plenty of people for it. So that's brilliant that you can see that yours is different. You've got a nice USP on that. Do you market, i.e. traditionally, flyers, leaflets, or do you do a lot of social media? Is it hard to market? Is it hard to get the word out locally, or do you just do it consistently?
Well, I do it consistently. On your advice, I tend to make sure that there's at least one thing that goes out every single day. Like I say, next week is my Fitness Pilates week, so let's see how that goes. It's not that I'd like to sort of embed it with what I found recently is that some people are coming in twos now with friends, and they're referring friends, and the main reason that people are coming in because they say this is the right class for aches and pains, isn't it?
I love that.
If it's non-specific, general aches and pains, then yes it is. So on that, I'd like to just twist my marketing around a little bit. I do use social media. It's mainly Facebook groups. I've used Nextdoor recently, although I did get told off that I was posting too often and that I didn't realize that there were moderators on there. Apparently I was posting too much on there, and not that much.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I didn't know. I had no idea that there was. So you can't tell that there's a moderator. Yes, and I do a little bit of, I do have some postcards, but they're quite generic because I have an online offering as well. And I have recorded Fitness Pilates classes that are in my online subscription as well, which are going well. I've got 2 subscriptions. One is a range of full-length classes, and the other is express classes. But the third one I want to set up is actually just Fitness Pilates.
Tina, this is amazing. You're doing so brilliantly. Well done. What would your advice to anybody that's watching that's maybe like you, teaching in the community, perhaps teaching some HIIT and body conditioning, or they're teaching in a facility? What advice would you to give them? What would you say about joining a Fitness Pilates education course?
I'd say if you're missing something that covers something like mobility, and the ability to sort of stretch your muscles out. So if everything that you're doing is quite high energy, it slots in perfectly because and also you can use, what I do is I use a lot of the Fitness Pilates moves in warm-ups, and I use them in my over 60s and over 70s classes as well. So and everybody loves them, and they say, oh, we're going to do that one where you twist your spine, and people ask for that kind of thing, and they don't realize how good some things can feel. So I would say I'd recommend it for sure. I'd say it really, really slots in well, especially if you're already offering higher intensity or higher impact work. Then it is the perfect sort of what's the word? They marry together very well.
Yeah, fabulous. Tina, thank you so much. Where can anybody come and say hello to you on Facebook? What's your Facebook handle?
So my Facebook handle is it's probably LHM Health Fitness. The organization is called, my company is called LHM Health and Fitness. I'm there on Facebook. I'm there on Instagram. And I am on LinkedIn as well as Tina Kaponi, Kaponi.
Oh yeah, that's your corporate one, isn't it? On LinkedIn. That's your corporate world.
Yes.
Tina, I really appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you so much.